We're going to run this meeting a little different tonight because the guy, I'm just the guest speaker. The guy asked me to speak here tonight, and the guy that asked me to speak forgot he was supposed to be here, so we don't have any of the readings that we normally read. But I've done quite a few of these meetings, and first of all, I'd like to start with a serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. I shared that I am an addict and alcoholic. Is there any other addicts present here tonight? Welcome. I just like to say that if you truly believe that you are an addict and an alcoholic, then you're in the right place, because I did methamphetamines for 28 years. I did over 12 and a half years of my adult life in prison. And there was absolutely nothing that I thought would ever give me a chance to stop doing drugs and alcohol in my life until I found the program of AA and CMA. And today I currently have 18 months clean and sober from any drugs and alcohol. And in my entire life, I'm 48 now. Since I was 15, I'm here to tell you that I never had longer than 3 days clean and sober on the streets. It was easy for me to stay clean and sober when I was locked up in prison, when I was in rehabs, right? When I was in treatment facilities, but every time I left there, it's just a matter of time before that insanity got me, right? And so I'm going to go ahead and share, and hopefully I hope that something I say here tonight will help someone here. That's the reason why I'm here, right? I'm here because I was once just like you guys. I was sitting in your seat, right? And I was trying to figure out, how the fuck am I going to live this thing called life, right? Because I got to an age where I just realized I didn't know how to fucking do this thing, right? I shouldn't be as old as I am and still fucking living in fucking halfway houses, right? Still fucking homeless on the streets and still fucking sleeping on friends' couches, right? I should be able to figure this thing out by now. Still getting locked up and losing everything I own time and time again, right? I would get out, get everything back, start to get my life back just to get fucking locked up again and lose it all again. It was an endless cycle that I had gone through my whole fucking life. And I'm here to tell you that if you're sitting in this room, then I believe that you suffer from the same disease that I suffer from, right? And it wasn't until I found this program that I realized that I had a disease. I never knew that I had one. But the medical profession actually recognizes the addiction and alcoholism as an actual disease today. And what that disease is it has two parts, right? There's an allergy of the body. And what that looks like is that when I put drugs or alcohol into my body, I experience something no other person, no person that doesn't have this disease experiences. And what the doctors call it is an allergic reaction. So when I put drugs and alcohol into my body, I have an allergic reaction that normal people don't have. And what that looks like, what the doctor calls it, is the phenomenon of craving. But what it looks like in real life is when I put it in there, now I want more, I want more, I want more, I can't stop. And I'm going to go on a lengthy spree until I suffer some kind of consequence, right? Jails, institutions, death, usually what happens. Family threatens me, all kinds of things, right? Homeless on the streets, that's a consequence, right? And every time I experience that, I'm going to come out with a firm promise or a firm resolution that I'm done, that I'm not going to do it again. And the doctor says that if I suffer from this disease, that it's repeated over and over and over again. And unless I can experience an entire psychic change, there's no hope for my recovery. So if I have this disease, I'm guaranteed to go through that endless cycle that I just described to you the rest of my life until I die. Right? So what the doctor says, what these alcoholic and addict people need is a psychic change. Because where the real problem lies is that I suffer from an insane thought, right? Because what happens is I never saw the pipe, the needle, the bottle, the pill, whatever it is my flavor is, come floating through the air, magically land in my body, and cause me to have that allergic reaction, right? If the allergic reaction was the only part of the disease, that's easily treatable. Don't put it in there, I won't experience allergic reaction, right? Cured. But what happens is, once I've decided to stop, now I suffer from this obsession of my mind that constantly keeps telling me to go do it again. I don't know if any of you have ever smoked cigarettes and tried to quit smoking cigarettes. It's the same fucking thing, right?
Yeah.
You're going through your day, you're just trying to have a fucking normal day. You made a decision to stop smoking, but this constant pesky fucking urge or thought keeps coming in your head and telling you to go smoke a fucking cigarette. I don't know about you, but I'm irritable, I'm restless, I'm discontented, right? I'm frustrated. I'm like, just fucking leave me alone, man. I fucking don't want to do this anymore. And that's why I'm just pissed and I'm in a shitty mood, right? And I can't get through the day and I end up fucking giving in to that urge and I do it again. And now because I'm allergic, I can't stop. So the doctor says where the true problem lies with the addict or the alcoholic is in the obsession of the mind. And what it is an insane thought. And I'm going to describe to you some of my experiences in my life that clearly points out the insanity. And hopefully you can relate some experiences in your own life to what that insanity fucking looks like. I did meth for 28 years, like I was saying, and I remember when my parents were still alive. They're dead now, right? And I remember my mother, I was tripping, right? I was still living with my parents, and I had done a lot of meth, right? I did way too much, and I was hallucinating. You guys ever done that before, where you're tripping, you're paranoid, and you're seeing shit, right? And I thought there was a devil or some kind of demons out to get me, right? And I was fucking scared to fucking death. And I'm sitting in my parents' house, it's like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I'm seeing these little fucking monsters running around on the fucking floor, and I'm sitting in my fucking bed with a knife because I'm fucking scared. I'm really fucking scared. And I'm like, this really makes me want to quit. I don't want to ever do this fucking shit again because this ain't fun. It ain't what I signed up for, right? This shit sucks. And my mom gets up and she's crying and she's bawling with me. Because she's worried about me, right? She loves me. And she's like, please don't ever do this stuff again. And I'd already decided I wasn't going to, right? Because I'm fucking scared. I think the devil's going to get me. And I promised my mother right there that I will never do it again. And I ask you, what power is there on this earth that's stronger than my mother's love or my love for my mother? I don't know of one. Mm-mm. And I promised her right there that I would never do it again. And I really meant it. 3 days later, I was fucking high again, and I was doing it again. All right? In the book of Alcoholics Anonymous, which we use in this program, which is a spiritual foundation, a 12-step process, it tells me that if I have passed into the region from which there's no return through human aid, I have but one choice, and that's to accept spiritual help. And the reason why I had to do this is I had to research all the human aid faculties that I could in my life, right? Once I had lost my own self-confidence that I could stop, once I tried to stop 100 different times on my own and found myself doing it again when I didn't want to, I realized that I couldn't stop on my own, right? So I had lost my own self-confidence that I had enough power to ever stop. And then once I lost my reliance upon things human, the doctor says that's the next thing that happens, right? So he says once these people lose their own self-confidence, once they lose their reliance upon things human, their problems pile up on them and become astonishingly difficult to solve. And my reliance upon things human is I tried to stop for my mother, right? Or some of us may have tried to stop for our wives. Some of us may have tried to stop for our sons, our daughters, right? And once we found out that didn't work, and we did it again anyway, there's another human power that wasn't enough to make us stop. I don't know, have any of you guys ever been to the detox ward in the hospital? You ever been to a detox ward?
Alcohol, yeah.
Where you detox from drugs and alcohol? What ward is it in the hospital that they put you in?
It's a crazy ward.
Psych ward, right?
Yeah.
Because we suffer from a psychological problem. We're clinically insane. There's a person that says he wants to stop doing something, but can't. Finds himself doing it again when he didn't want to. So what I truly can't control is my thoughts. And what's truly unmanageable in my life is my actions. Because a person who can't control what they think and what they do is clinically insane. And step one in the 12-step process, if you guys are ever familiar with that, It says we admitted that we were powerless over alcohol and that our actions that our lives had become unmanageable. Well, I like to break that down. What step one really means is I crossed out alcohol and I said, what I really admitted that I'm powerless over my thoughts, right? And what guides my life? My actions. My actions are going to control what my life looks like. So I back it up to the beginning. What's really going on here, right? What I'm truly powerless over is my thoughts. And what's truly unmanageable in my life is my actions. Because once I've decided to stop, and once I'm not made that decision to never pick up again, when that thought comes and says, hey Brian, you know it'd be a good idea? Let's go do this. I find myself doing it again, even though I didn't want to. So what I'm truly powerless over is that first thought, that insane thought in my brain. And what I can't control because of what follows my thought is my actions. And why my life looks all fucked up is because I can't control what I think and what I do. So if you guys are sitting there and you're wondering, and you're tired of fucking living this lifestyle, or you want something different for yourself, when I was sitting there in your position, I had realized to myself, who got me to where I am right now? Who got you guys to where you are sitting right now in this halfway house, in that seat you're sitting? I realized that everything, that when I was at the point in my life where I was totally broken and I was unhappy with where I was, I realized all my thoughts, all my plans, and all my little ideas that I had to get me what I wanted in life got me to where I was unhappy. So I realized if I do what I think I should do in the future, is my life ever going to fucking change? Probably not, right? So what I did is I adopted a higher power, and that's what this program is for. It's to help you find a power greater than yourself, or a God of your own understanding that will solve your problem. And what I started doing is I started asking myself, what would my higher power do in this situation in my life? And when I started doing that, rather than what I would normally do, my life started to change. Right? Because I wasn't doing what I was always doing. So my life is guaranteed to change. It has to, right? So back to the story part, right? The second deal I had, right? I told you I did over 12 and a half years in prison. I've been in prison. I didn't do it all at once. I did 2.5 the first time, 1 year, 9 months the second time, and 8 years the third time. I've been on probation, parole, or in prison since 1999. I finally get off of probation in February. So I've been on probation or parole. I've been basically on paper or locked up for fucking close to 20 years. Right? And I could never fucking stay out of jail because I would go to these fucking appointments with the parole officer. I'd go to these appointments with the probation officer, right? But I'd already started using. And they'd let me get so many dirty UAs. And they'd tell me on the next one, if you get a dirty UA on the next one, we're going to violate you, right? But I had already tried to stop so many fucking times that I realized that I just can't stop. So in my mind, there's no other option. I don't have a power to choose whether I can produce a clean UA or not. So when they would tell me that, and the next one we're going to violate you, I'd say, okay, I promise I'll be clean on the next one. But in my head, I'm saying, catch me when you can, motherfuckers, I'm out. Right? Because I know that why fucking go back? I'm going to be dirty again. So I just fucking realized that I have no choice. I got to go on the run again, right? And I did that my whole life. Probation, parole, whatever. And I could never fucking get off paper. They just kept catching me again and again and again. So I had violated parole yet once again, right? And because I could not produce a clean UA. Simple, right? Piss clean, you don't have to go back to prison. Couldn't do it. So they fucking finally catch me and they send me back to prison. And I'm sitting at Florence West Yard, the violators yard, the same yard as the DUI yard. And I had like 45 days left on my fucking parole this time. And I'm sitting there and I can see the reason why I'm fucking locked up yet again is because I fucking can't stop getting high, man. So I make a decision. I'm done. I'm not fucking doing that shit anymore. And I really believe that I'm not going to ever do it again. And this is the insanity of it, right? Because in my head, I truly believe I'm never going to do it again. And I tell everybody in there, I'm working out with the boys in there, you know what we do. And I'm fucking, I'm telling all my friends in there, look, I'm done. I'm not doing that shit again. I'm talking to my old lady on the phone, right? I'm calling her, and she's still using it. And I'm telling her, look, I don't fucking care. You can fucking use it if you want to. I'm done. I'm not touching that shit. I'm tired of being fucking locked up because I fuck getting high. I'm done, all right? Well, the day of my release, I know you guys ever been on that yard. You can see there's a McDonald's in Florence that you can see from the yard. You can see it from the prison yard. It's right across the fucking street. Well, she comes and picks me up, and we were going to that McDonald's to get breakfast, and I had no thought in my head that I was going to get high. Right? I'm done. I still believe I'm done. We pull up at that McDonald's to get breakfast, and the thought comes to me that I want to fucking get high, and I'm telling her, look, I know you have fucking dope on you. Give it to me now. I want it. And she's like, I thought you fucking said you were done. And I was like, I changed my fucking mind. Right? And it's nothing but pure insanity, right? I'm not 100 yards a fucking way from the place where I was just fucking locked up because I can't stop getting high, and I've already made the decision to do it again, and I think it's a good decision. Right? What is that but insanity? A normal fucking person, a normal, sane, smart person is not going to make that decision. They're gonna realize the consequence. They're gonna realize why they're there, and they're gonna say, "Look, I'm done," and they're gonna be able to keep that fucking that promise they made to themselves. But the addict and the alcoholic cannot. They were powerless over that first thought, like I was explaining to you. And when that thought comes, I'm powerless to tell it no, and I'm going to find myself doing it again, even though I don't want to. And because I'm allergic, as soon as I put it in my body, I'm not going to be able to stop until I've experienced another consequence. And then I'm going to come out of that consequence with a firm promise not to do it again, only to go back through that fucking cycle yet again. And that's why 3 of the promises are in this program, that if you continue to do what you're doing, jails, institutions, or death. You're either going to go to jail or prison, you're either going to end up in a fucking mental institution, or you're going to end up dead. Right? So, the last one, right? Basically, I'll introduce you to the girl that's in my story. This is my ex-girlfriend, Yuen, and we're good friends today. And I actually have a pretty good relationship with another girl today, but I'm still able to be friends with her. And I was living. I was broken yet again. I don't know how much time I have left, but I'll probably already used too much. I'll tell the snake story. You guys will laugh, but I don't want to tell about that one. So I was bouncing from halfway house to halfway house, right? I got out of prison. My parents would no longer fucking let me come live with them. Then my dad ended up dying. My mom was already dead. I had nowhere to go. I can't stop using. But while in prison this time, I learned how to pass UAs on meth. I'm not going to tell you guys how to do it, but this is how I managed to not go back to prison this time, right? Well, I could pass the UA at fucking Task, but I can't pass it at the halfway house because they don't give me enough time to do what I have to do. So I'm constantly getting kicked out of these sober livings. I'm getting kicked out of these halfway houses, right? Because I just can't stay sober. Now, I've been to rehabs before. I've been to Crossroads twice before. Crossroads is a 30-day inpatient program, and then another 30-day outpatient, and then you could stay longer and pay rent there. But every time when I got done, and when I went through there, and they introduced me to these 12 steps, I would never make it past step 3. The reason why, because I would get in there and I would get mentally and physically better again, right? And I would get that same feeling that I used to have when I was locked up in prison, that I'm good, and I'd have that firm fucking promise in my head that I'm done, I'm not going to do this again. I would thank these guys for their help, because they would tell me about places, triggers, people to stay away from, and I'm like, cool, yeah, that's all good information, right? And I would use that information. But I'm here to tell you that every time I left there, you heard me telling my story, I've never been fucking clean longer than fucking 3 days in my entire life out of protective custody. And protective custody for my disease was prison or fucking locked up in a rehab. Right? So, I was on the fucking streets because I got kicked out of the Solutions. I don't know if any of you guys ever been there. It's getting ready to close now, but... and at the Solutions, when you get kicked out of there, they still keep your money, and they don't take it, but you have to leave for 72 hours, and you can't come back till you produce a clean UA. Well, that's enough time for me to do what I have to do, but I got nobody that will fucking accept me anymore. All my friends are done with me because I've stolen from them all, right? My family won't have nothing to do with me. I got nowhere to fucking go, and I got a couple bucks in my pocket and a bus pass, right? Because what had happened, I was at the fucking halfway house, and I decided I was done again because I was tired of fucking the way I was living. Well, I slept for about 4 days because when I come off of meth, I can't fucking function, right? I can barely get out of bed. I definitely can't make it to work for a full day, right? If I need like a week of sleep at least. Well, so I didn't go to work. I lost my job. And the people at the halfway house come and told me, look, you need to go out and at least look for a job today or find one, because if you don't, you're not going to have a place to live. Well, my insane disease tells me that I can't go get a fucking job without getting high, right? So I go to this girl's house that I know is a dope dealer and that will hook me up with some, even though I don't have any money. But she's out, she doesn't have any. Well, I see the bong there that they smoke the meth through, right? And I know there's fucking dope in that bong water. Because I used to make meth, right? I used to boil down the bong water and fucking scrape it back and get the dope back. But so I drink the bong water. There's so much fucking dope in that bong water that I'm fucking tripping. I'm seeing where the aliens landed, and I'm seeing why there's so many Mexicans here. They invaded. They came up through the sewers because the sewers are all bunked up downtown, and I got all these conspiracies going on in my head. Getting a job's the last fucking thing I can do now, right? I'm fucking tripping. So I end up getting kicked out, and I'm homeless, and I'm on the fucking streets, and I got nowhere to go, and it's July. It's about this time of year. Now, I've never been homeless, right? I've always had a place to stay, or I've been in prison, one of the two. So I'm just walking around, I'm taking the bus, and I'm just walking, right? And I'm in survival mode, because I can't sleep, because I'm so fucking high, and it's hot, and I'm fucking dying, and I'm basically walking or taking the bus from Circle K to Circle K just to get free water so I can fucking survive. I'm just trying not to fucking die. I've never experienced this before, right? So I realized that if I don't fucking change my ways, that I'm gonna fucking die, and I need to do something. So I fucking I go back to Crossroads and I beg those people to let me back in, and they accept access insurance, right? That's how I'm able to go there so many times. They let me go back. They let me back this time. Now this time, because I was out walking around in July, I had jumped in someone's swimming pool with all my clothes on and shoes and socks, and then I continued to walk for about 10 miles, and I got fucking trench foot, like they get in Vietnam from walking in wet shoes and socks for so many miles. And my feet were just fucking, the toenails were peeling off, they fucking were just fucked up, right? And I didn't feel it the whole time because I was high, but when I came down, I could barely walk. So when these people allowed me to come back into Crossroads and do their inpatient for 30 days, give me a place to live, a place to heal up, I was so fucking grateful because I really thought I was going to fucking die out there, right? And this time I was willing to do anything they told me to do. I'd been there before, and I had prison mentality, and you motherfuckers ain't going to tell me what to do, you know what I mean? And this time I didn't care, man, because I realized that if I didn't fucking get it this time, that I was going to fucking die. I couldn't go back out there and do that shit again. So I got a sponsor, and I got into these fucking steps. I'm here to tell you that by day 35, I was already on step 8, and I was already sponsoring people. Reason why? Because after day 30, they allow you to go out and look for a job. And I really wanted to fucking get this thing because I was afraid that if they let me go back out there in the world that I was going to get high again, and I was going to do it again, and I was going to fucking die. So I did it with all the earnestness of my fucking, with all the fucking earnestness that I had, right? And anyway, I finished my steps. I got to like 9-10 months clean and sober, the longest I ever had in my entire life in the free world. And it was a direct result of this program. It's a direct result of having a higher power, right? Well, I adopted this God that I knew from the Bible. It was a God that it was man-made religion, right? And Now that God, in my opinion, was vengeful, menacing, and a punishing God, because that's what they say he is in the Bible. But it still worked for me, right? And I still was doing very well in this program. But I had never been married, I never had children, and I desperately wanted a family and a wife. Now when I was using or when I was fucking high on meth, I didn't want that shit. I had plenty of girlfriends, but I didn't want any fucking kids, because I'd be high, and then my girlfriends would have kids, and I'd be plucking, tweaking on video games, and the kids would want to play. I'd be like, fuck, I almost had a high score. Really? You know what I mean? It was all about me, you know? But now that I was sober, I realized that was something I missed my entire life, and I desperately wanted. And I was praying, I was asking this God to help me find it. Well, at 9 months sober, I was still living in a fucking, it's a sober living, right? It's a rehab, a halfway house like this one. And I met this girl. I was 47 at the time, she was 27, right? And you see her, she's fucking beautiful, right? And I was like, the first date we went on, I was like, wow, this is going to be a complete waste of time. She's going to want nothing to do with me, right? Here I am, this fucking homeless loser living in a fucking halfway house. Fucking life's all fucked up. She's 20 years younger than I am. Fucking, I ain't that good looking, you know what I mean? And we started dating and we fell in love. And now she's a real estate investment agent. She's like close to a millionaire. And I'm this homeless person. I'm like, really? Are you sure you fucking like me? You know what I mean? And so I truly believed that it was a blessing from my God for all my hard work I had done in the program, because I had helped many men. I spoke at many meetings like this. I sponsored a lot of dudes, and my life was totally about giving back, right? I believe that God was blessing me, answering my prayer and blessing me with that relationship, and that was the first mistake right there, right? So we moved out. She got us a house out in Maricopa, a 4-bedroom house. I asked her to marry me. She said yes, and we tried to have children. We had unprotected sex for about a month and a half. It just didn't happen, right? For reasons yet unknown. But one day she just comes to me and she decides she doesn't want to be with me anymore, right? It happens, right? That's life. Life on life's terms. Life's still going to happen. But because I believe that God had blessed me with that relationship, and because I believe that my God was a vengeful and menacing and punishing God, I believe that my God was punishing me because I wasn't being good enough, right? And as soon as I believed that, the insanity returned. Because I'm here to tell you that the only solution there is to this disease, to removal of that insanity, is a relationship with the God of your own understanding, right? So as soon as I thought that my God was punishing me, I lost my faith. I said, that dude don't have my fucking back anymore, right? And as soon as I thought that, the insanity returned. And what came to my head was, you know what? You're only a fucking addict. You're not an alcoholic. You can fucking drink. And I went to the fucking store and I got a Mike's Hard Lemonade and I drank it. This is at 11 months fucking clean and sober from everything, right? I was throwing it all away. What more is it than an insane thought? So I drink that Mike's Hard Lemonade, right? And it says in the book that if you think you're not an alcoholic, try stepping over to the nearest bar room, try some controlled drinking, and try to stop abruptly. Right? So I thought of that passage in the book, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take these motherfuckers' advice, and I'm going to go fucking try that shit. But it was nothing more than an insane thought, right? Because the insanity had already returned. It's just insane. So I went and I drank that Mike's Hard Lemonade. I came back. I wasn't sad. I wasn't depressed about the breakup anymore. We're still living together, right? Because this girl, she loves me. She doesn't want to see me destroy my life yet again. She knows what's happened in my life, and she cares about me. And she just doesn't want to be with me, and that's okay, right? It happens. But I drink that Mike's Hard Lemonade. I feel all warm and fuzzy inside anymore. I don't care about the breakup anymore. I feel really good now. And I go to sleep. I wake up the next day and I don't want to get drunk. I go, see, I told you I wasn't a fucking alcoholic. I was only an addict. Well, what happens is the next time we have a disagreement or argument, the first thought in my head comes, go to that fucking store and get a drink. Right? So this time, because I'm a true addict and a true alcoholic, I can't get that Mike's Hard Lemonade, right? Because I'm not going to get the same effect. I got to have more than I had last time, right? That's the addict thinking. More than last time to make it work again. So I get 4 Locos this time. I down it. Now I'm so fucked up from that Four Locos, because I've been clean 11 months. You can realize that Four Locos fucking fucked me up, right? That when the thought comes that I want to go get some meth, I'm off and I'm running and I go get high. And now I can't stop, right? Once I do meth, I want to do it every fucking day. It's on my mind constantly, because I am allergic. We're still living together, and she doesn't want to see me destroy my life. And it's just funny, I remember one time I had done some meth, right? And I came back and she asked me if I was high, because I wouldn't lie to her, right? Because I loved her and I didn't want to lie to her. So I would always tell her the truth no matter what. I said, yeah, I'm fucking high. And she said, did you still have some dope on you? And I'm like, yeah, I got some on you. She's like, give it to me, right? Well, she's a normie. She's never done drugs and alcohol in her life. She thinks that caffeine's a drug. She won't even do it, right? So I got it, the bag in my pocket, and I'm trying to rip a fucking hole in the bag before I get it out, so I can leave some crumbs in my pocket so I can do them later, right? And I take the bag out and I give it to her, and she takes the bag and she flushes it down the toilet, and then she goes, give me those shorts. That bag had a hole in it. I'm washing them. I'm like, this motherfucker fucking got me again. I can't even get that over on her. I was like, God damn it. So now she won't let me leave her side, right? Because she owns her own company, so she doesn't have to go to work or nothing. But she won't let me out of her sight. She won't even let me go to the store by myself, because she knows what I'm going to do. So she's trying to help me, but she doesn't realize that she can't, right? No human power, remember? Mm-hmm. So she doesn't realize it, but I'm finding drinking brandy and stuff that the other homeowners have left under the sink and in the cabinet, and I'm drinking that at fucking night now. Remember, I'm only an addict, not an alcoholic. What the fuck am I drinking that shit for, right? It's because I can't stop now. I'm allergic. I gotta have something. Well, she fucking, one day she won't let me out of her sight, so it's like weeks go by, and one day she fucking has to go to the bank and do some business by herself, right? I'm like, okay, go ahead. She leaves, and I'm driving, and I'm going to the gym. All I'm doing is going to the gym. I have no thought in my head of drinking or getting high or nothing. And I don't know if you've ever been to Maricopa, the town of Maricopa. It's out there by Chandler. Well, all I got to do is go across the 10 and go on the other side of the 10 out there in Chandler and go to the gym, right? Well, I'm driving. I get this thought in my head. I want to get some meth. And I have this out-of-body experience. I'm telling myself, no, don't do this. Call your sponsor. You know what's going to fucking happen as I watch myself turn and get on the 10 instead of going straight across. Because I was born and raised on this side of town, on the west side, and the only way I know where to get meth is right here. Actually, I had a couple of dope dealers that live within a half mile of here. All right? So I'm on a mission. I'm coming over here. And I don't want to do it, but I watched myself do it even though I told myself not to. So I manage enough willpower. I call my sponsor and I say, hey, buddy, I need a fucking meeting right now or I'm going to get high. Right? What do they tell you to do in this program? They tell you to go to meetings. They tell you to call your sponsor, right? They tell you to share with another addict or alcoholic what you're going through, and they say that shit will help you. Those people are wrong, and I'm about to explain to you why. The only solution there is to this disease is a relationship with your higher power. We need the meetings for fellowship, because we need to be around other people who understand our disease and can help us through it. Well, we need God for recovery. It's the only thing. Right? No human power. Spiritual help is the only thing that can give me that restoration of sanity. And as long as I don't have that first thought, I'll never put it in my body again, and I'll never experience an allergic reaction, right? And that is what I have today. Anyway, I'll explain to you what happened. So I call my sponsor. I say, hey, buddy, I need a meeting right now, or I'm going to get high. So I'll call you right back. And he calls me right back, right? And I'm coming. I'm on the 10. I'm coming over here. And he says, there's a meeting at the Mesa Alano Club. It starts in 20 minutes. I said, okay, I know where that is. I've been there before. I'll go. Now, I ain't hit the 60 yet. So I turn and I go on the 60. And I go to this meeting. I sit in the meeting. I share about what I was going through with everybody in the meeting. They all tell me, why I shouldn't do it and so on and so forth. I see a brother that I went through rehab with. And I sit after the meeting is over and talk with him why I shouldn't do it. I leave that fucking meeting, I come straight over here, I get dope and I get high. The only reason why I believe I did that is because I had lost my faith that my higher power had my back, and that is the only fucking solution that will take away that insanity of that thought that won't leave me alone that tells me to go get high. See, so if you guys truly have this disease, you have no choice but to accept spiritual help. And I'm here to tell you, what the fuck do you have to lose by trying it? If it doesn't work, you'll be exactly where you are, right? So what do you really have to lose? You have everything to gain, nothing to lose. So if you're sitting there thinking, I don't believe in this God shit, I don't think it's going to work, what the fuck do you have to lose by trying it? You have a new life to gain and nothing to lose if you try it. If you do it, really, what do you have to lose? A couple minutes of your time in the morning, a couple minutes of your time at night, maybe an hour a day for a meeting? Really, what do you have to lose? If you do those things and you gain a brand new life, everything to gain, nothing to lose. Anyway, so now because I can't stop, I end up moving out with her, and I go into there's a fucking weekly motel on like Dunlap in the freeway, and I'm living there, paying weekly rent. I'm getting high every fucking day, right? I got fucking prostitutes, fucking hanging out with dope dealers again, the whole deal, right? And what's crazy is, you remember the reason why I started again was because I couldn't deal with the emotional deal of the breakup, right? My original thinking, the reason why I was going to drink, the reason why I continued to get high, is because the breakup with her, when I was high or when I was drunk, it didn't hurt anymore. 6 months later, I'm here to tell you, when I would come down after a run and I'd be sleeping, I'd be getting ready to go to sleep, a lot of times I would still cry my fucking self to sleep over that breakup. The reason why? The drugs and the alcohol just covered it up. And when they were taken away, the fucking sore was still there and it still hurt. Because I never dealt with it. Never dealt with it sober, right? Never learned how to deal with it. All I did was cover it up. So if you're drinking or if you're getting high to cover up some fucking misery that you've had in your life, I'm here to tell you, until you face it and walk through it sober, it's always going to fucking be there. It's never going to go away. So, basically, I have this fucking experience. I finally make it back into rehab, right? And I check into Crossroads yet again. And I have this fucking this experience when I'm there, and I don't have enough time to go into it, but maybe I got enough time. Basically, the reason I had dropped my sponsor, right? Because when I was high and I couldn't stop, I'm still talking to the dude, and his best suggestion for me was to go check into fucking Salvation Army. Right? And my fucking insanity tells me, I got $5 grand in the bank. I'm not going to go to Salvation Army. That's where fucking homeless people go. I don't need to go there. And if that's your best suggestion for me, you're not my fucking sponsor anymore. Right? And I dropped the dude. And I wish I would have listened to him, because I would have still had that money. Instead of blowing it all on drugs, right? Anyway, so I pick up this new sponsor, and he decides that both of us decide that I just can't stop without going into inpatient again. And I managed to go into inpatient. And I'm here to tell you that all my friends that I was hanging out with, the day that I decided to go to rehab, they throw me a going away party, right? We shoot up a bunch of meth. I smoke a bunch of meth. We get drunk. We have everybody's there, a bunch of guys and girls, and we're all getting high. They're throwing a going away party for me, right? And I'm here to tell you today, a year and a half ago, all those people that I was with that night, the next day I went to rehab, every one of them is in fucking prison today. Every one of them. Anyway. So, I go back to rehab yet again, and now I'm doing the 10th step. I don't know, you guys have never done these steps, right? But the 10th step is like a personal inventory at the end of every night, and I'm doing that with my roommate. And I call my sponsor, and he says, I'm glad you made it to fucking rehab. I'll come see you, right? He comes and sees me. He says, look, I'm moving to California. I can't sponsor you anymore. I got to back up a little bit. I forgot. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm making all these decisions, right? I go back. All my friends run Crossroads because I got sober with them the first time. They work in corporate. So I go in there, and they're like glad to see me back. And I'm like, hey, buddies, I can't go back to Crossroads Arcadia. It's on like the east side, right? I've been there 3 times. I've had that experience. It didn't work. I need to have a new experience. Can you send me to Crossroads West? And they do it, right? So here I am thinking I'm making this decision. So I go to Crossroads West. Now, Crossroads has like 8 different facilities. And each one of these facilities, they got like 50 different beds. So I'm just lining this up with you so you guys can see how the coincidence, how everything lined up, and how there was something else guiding all this rather than me. And when I realized that is when, anyway. So I go to Crossroads West. I'm doing the 10-step with my roommate. I call that sponsor. He comes and sees me, says he can't sponsor. He's moving me to California. I said, here's another decision I'm thinking of making. I'll just get my original sponsor back, Aiden. And I call him. He's like, yeah, buddy, I'm in Mexico building houses for the underprivileged families right now. I can't be there for about a week. I said, okay, I'm not going anywhere. I'll see you when you get here. Right? Well, about a week later, they moved my roommate out, and they moved this brand new dude in, and we're talking, and it comes out that he has my same fucking sponsor, Aiden, that I just called, that I decided to get back. He was just in Mexico with Aiden because Aiden had picked him up from my grand sponsor's sober living house because he couldn't stop getting high, and took him to Mexico with him, and then brought him to Crossroads to get checked in. And then they happened to put him at Crossroads West at the 8 different facilities, and they happened to put him in my room out of the 50 different rooms there. Right? And I realized right there and right there, that right then and right there, that I was exactly where I was supposed to be. Because all of those coincidences couldn't have lined up, right? By no other source than some fucking higher power guiding them. And the reason was, when he fucking made all those decisions I thought I was making, the decision to go to Crossroads West, right? The decision to get Aiden back. I wasn't making them, right? I thought it was. But I realized all that shit lined up for a reason, right? When I realized that something else was guiding me and guiding all that other shit, so that dude could be in my room at that moment, so I could realize that my God was not a vengeful, menacing, and punishing God. I'm here to tell you that as soon as I realized that, I realized he was guiding me through the breakup with the girl. He was guiding me through the 6-month-long relapse. He was guiding me through the decision to go back to Crossroads West. He was guiding me through the decision to get Aiden back. And he was guiding that dude that was with Aiden to be put in my room, so I could realize at that moment in that time that he was with me the whole fucking time. That he had never turned his back on me. The only thing I had done wrong was turn my back on him. And I'm here to tell you that as soon as I realized that right there in that moment, my obsession was removed and has never returned. I have never had the idea that to pick up meth today would be a good idea. All right? I want to run down these steps. Are any of you guys in here familiar with the 12 steps? You guys have a sponsor? You ever worked the 12 steps? Okay. Well, I won't go through that then. So basically, what I want to share with you is what it's like today. Today I have a job that I've been on, that they love me and want me there, and I've been there for a long time, right? I'm able to show up every day. I have family. I have people in my life that care about me. I have about 15 men that I sponsor in this program that I help them change their lives. I have one guy that just picked up his year coin, another guy that picked up the 6-month coin, and I presented it to them. And I have tons of friends that I trust and love today. I can actually trust these people, and I know that they'll be there for me if I need them. Before, I had no one that I could trust, right? When I was in the dope world, I couldn't trust those motherfuckers as far as I could throw them, right? It was because I watched what they would do to other people, and I'm thinking, I can't trust them because they're going to do it to me too if I do, right? And that was a shitty fucking life. And I'm so grateful because everybody that I have in my life today, hundreds and hundreds of people I met in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't have anybody in my life except for her in my family that I haven't met in these rooms. Right? You remember how I couldn't cross the fucking street from the prison before without changing my mind and deciding to pick up again, remember? Mm-hmm. I'm here to tell you today that I have sponsees that have called me and asked me for help. And they've been in a trap house, a meth trap house. And I went to that trap house by myself, took no one with me. Pulled that dude out of there, took his meth from him, put it in my pocket, took that dude, dropped him off at CBI, which is a detox, took that meth and threw it away. All by myself. Nobody with me. How the fuck could I do that today when I could not cross the street before without changing my mind?
You weren't doing it by yourself. You had your higher power with you.
Because through working these 12 steps with the sponsor, my sanity has been returned. And what that looks like is that first thought doesn't come and says, Brian, let's smoke that meth that's in your pocket. It never comes. Because if it did, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys right now. I'd be out there fucking doing what we do. Right? When I picked that dude up from that fucking thing and I dropped him off, I would have smoked that meth that was in my pocket because the thought was, it came and said, hey, Brian, it's a good idea, let's go do this. And as soon as I did it, I wouldn't have been able to stop because I'm allergic. So I have had the psychic change. I have had my sanity returned, right? And I'm going to tell you that if someone hadn't worked their 12 step on me, if someone had gone on with their life after they got clean and sober and forgot about people like me, I wouldn't be sitting here with the life that I have today. So it's with that gratitude that I reach out to others. So if there's anybody in this room that would like a new life and that would like to do these 12 steps with a sponsor, I'd be more than grateful to sponsor you, man. Anyone that's willing to do these steps. And talk to me after the meeting, and I'll close with that.